Okay, so a few different things that we could do. One good thing to do though is when you're looking at this, the first thing that you want to do is cut everything up into shapes, because right now you're working in lines. And so I'm going to take some of these lines and I'm going to extend them just past so that we can start kind of cutting things.
Okay.
And I'm going to connect this line with the pen tool to this line. So now we've got, oops, that didn't connect. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna, let's get rid of that anchor point. I'm gonna lock this down, Command 2. And then let's go Command Y so we can see that. And I'm gonna start with my pen tool right there and then wait for this little circle there, right? So I get that little deal that's gonna tell me the connection. Now that's a solid line. And what that does for me is I can take this, which I believe, we'll test this out to see if it's a solid shape. It should work. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to take this line and I'm going to take this and I'm going to use my shape builder tool and cut this section. So then I should be able to get rid of these and this. And then I'm going to get rid of the stroke and everything. So X / now I don't have stroke. Now I can come in here and I can start mixing colors. So I don't have any colors chosen, but you'd want to kind of choose some colors before you just start randomly mixing stuff. But let's just do like a lighter blue here. I'm going to come back to that in a minute. Okay, then this, I'm going to unlock it, Command Alt 2 to unlock the things that I previously locked. Now I can make this color. Okay, so already things are kind of, starting to shape up because we're using shapes. I'm going to grab, I can put a stroke back on this one, hit D, / to get rid of my there, and I can come here to my stroke panel. In my stroke panel I can make this bigger, but typically the butt cap is not a great way to end these. And so I can try rounded cap, or you can try like tapering off kind of the points at the end. So like these little profile things will give you different options with your strokes.
In the strokes panel.
In the strokes panel, yeah. And if you don't see this, you have to go to, if your stroke panel looks like this, then you have to go to, you go right here, and this let's see if we can zoom in here. Basically you go right here, and there's in the upper right hand corner, there's a little menu button, you go show options, and then it'll show the rest. So something along those lines, and then I'm going to grab, what is this shape? That's just a shape. Okay, so a little confused on what's going on here with your file. Okay, there we go. So we got a few lines here. We only need one of these right now, so I'm going to delete that one. Let's put this one, I'm going to actually use my white arrow tool and select the path on the inside. So this is, you've cut this eye out of this main shape. And I'm just going to delete that.
And then you can add the other circle on top.
Right, because what I'd like to do is I'd like to have a little bit more control over what's going on. And so I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this. I'm going to make it white. For now we might change that color depending on what we're doing, but now I can stick that there like that. Put this like that.
And the shortcut for the eyedropper tool is I?
I, yeah. So I will jump to the eyedropper tool. In some tools, it depends on the tool, but in some tools, holding different keystrokes will change tools, but generally speaking, it's I. So this is one way of doing it, and I can also come in here and I can say, well, what if I want, what if I want kind of like patterns, like you had talked about doing like little patterns. So I can come in here like this, and I can make like little dots. So I'm going to just go into my pattern tool. With this circle selected, I've made a circle about the size that I want it. And then I'm going to go to Object Pattern Make. Okay, and then over here I have this pattern option thing. This is your tile editor, the pattern tile tool, and it will control the amount of space that you have in between
Oh,
things.
that's cool.
So I can come in here like this, and then your grid will control how it's repeated. So like brick by row will shift the rows by half. Or you can come in here and say shift it by a third, or shift it by 4/5 or something like that. It's half by default. Brick by column will shift the columns by half, so it shifts up or down. Or you can do hex, and so if you do a hex by column, it does that. So I'm just going to pick one of these that kind of looks good here. Okay, and then I'm going to click done. When I click done, I can get rid of this dot now. That adds that pattern right here to my panel, to this panel. And so I can take this and make a copy of it and paste in front. So I'm going to hold Command, press C to copy to my clipboard, press F to copy that in front. And so now if I look in my layers panel, I have 2 of those right on top of each other. And on the top one in the fill, I am going to add those dots.
Oh, perfect.
So I can add those little dots. And then I can come in and I can say, actually I want those to be smaller or closer together or whatever. So there's 2 things I can do. I can double click on the swatch and it'll bring me back into the editor. And I can take this and I can say, I want them to be bigger. And then when I click done, it will update that for me. Or I can grab this shape and I can go scale, double click on my scale tool, and if I take transform objects off and transform patterns is checked, then I can come in with this percentage and I can go up or down with it. So I can scale it up or down.
Oh, cool.
Then something that you might want to do is you can come in here and maybe like alt click and drag like that and give yourself maybe a darker value of that hue, put that underneath, and you can kind of align these anchor points like this, and that'll just give you like a little bit of depth. It's like a little shadow that's being cast.
Cool.
That's an option. Or you can come in and you can say, I want to have a stroke on the outside of this, but I don't want a stroke on the inside or on the outside of that. So I can take this whole thing and I can make a copy of it, and let's just paste it off to the side right now. I'm going to combine it into a single shape, and then I can put a stroke on the outside edge of this. I've got to hit black arrow tool now first. There we go. It's a big giant stroke like that. And then we can deal with this in a minute. I'm going to make that blue, and I'm going to press / to get rid of my fill color. And then in my stroke panel, I'm going to throw this to the outside edge. I'm going to put this back right over there. And with that right there, I can come in and, while not touching the H, the hue, if I increase the saturation and decrease the brightness, it'll give me the same color and different values in saturation of that color. So I can come in like this, and then I can shrink this down to be something along those lines. And then if I want to like look at how it might round things out, or I can throw it on the inside, or I can straddle it like this, and you can kind of control kind of how those things are working. Then I can come in and do the same here. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to go copy paste in front, and I'm just going to eyedrop that, and then I can come in and I can apply, some tapering lines.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that. And you might even want like an indication of some things, so you can do that as well. I can come in and I say, on this path, I'm going to go copy paste in front, but I want it to end about here. And then I'm going to grab that, then I can come in to my stroke panel, and I can just choose one of these tapering lines and flip it around. And now it's kind of an indication of that edge. And I can do the same thing over here. So I can grab this. And let's go copy, paste in front. And I'm going to say I just want this to be super short over here.
And you just selected the line, right?
Yeah, so use the white arrow to select the line.
Okay.
And I can grab that like that. And then I can go do the same thing. And then you might have to come in and kind of adjust some of this. So we can grab this guy, pull him out a little bit. And we can deal with that little knob right now. So if I go in here like this, and I go object, either expand appearance or path outlines stroke, that now becomes like an object rather than a stroke. And I can come in here and get rid of
Just pop them in.
those so they don't, kind of do that. And I can even come in like this, and this is more advanced, but this will help your icons. If I like this stroke, and I always make a copy of things before I do them destructively, so I'm going to Command C, Command F, and then I'm just going to hide one of those. And then I'm going to outline this stroke, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. I outline this stroke like this, and if I combine these two things, like that, then I can come in here, and I can round this out. And I can round this out, or delete it. There's too many things there. And then it gives you just that little bit of professionalism, kind of as that's going towards things.
Cool.
And I can do the same thing over here. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go Object Expand Appearance, grab this, Shape Builder tool, let's combine both of those together, zoom in here. Okay, it looks like I'm not as aligned as I'd like to be. So let's just move that over. There we go. Okay, and let's look what we've got here. I'm going to go here, add an anchor point, and here, add an anchor point, and then I can delete this one. Shift C to get rid of the handlebars in this one, and then A will give me the corner widget tool. I can pull that out. So it curves out. This one I don't need to do that. I can pull that out like that, and then when you look at this, you'll see that those lines seem like they're flowing from that.
It just looks a little more natural.
Yeah, a little bit more natural, a little bit more professional. So that's one way of doing it. And another way of doing it would be you can just fill these in with color. So I can just come in here and I can just say, let's make this shape blue. Let's make this shape blue. If I hold Shift, it's only going to grab that color and it'll leave the stroke. And then I can kind of do that. And if I want to grab this color that we've picked for our outline, I can kind of do that. So if I have this eyedropper tool, Shift, okay, it changes that as well. Zoom in so we can see what we're doing. So you can kind of do that. But let's say that this was, like yellow or whatever. Just want to reiterate that part. That's a horrible looking yellow. It's too green.
It's a toxic whale.
Right. So we'll go brighter. I'm just going to double click here so I can mix this. There we go. There's a more happy yellow. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my stroke.
What was the shortcut for that?
So over here, if you want to swap, then you press Shift X, and that'll go back and forth, like swapping them.
Okay.
If you just want to activate one or the other, just Shift. We'll toggle which one is on top.
Cool.
Okay, so if we go like this, and then I also want this, I can just hit this and it'll give it that. And I can go and increase that. And then I can come in and mix the colors for that. So I can say, for this, maybe I want it to be the same saturation and brightness, but I just want it to be a little bit more red, so I can kind of mix some orange in with it. And I leave these here, and then you can control the stroke however you'd like, just like before. So that's pretty much it. You know, there's lots of fun things you can do. Like if I wanted to give them, you know, like let's say that I wanted to give them like an eyelid, I could come in here like this and kind of do this, grab this, use my shape builder tool to cut it, get rid of this here, and we'll take this and we'll make it a slightly darker value. And then it looks like an eyelid.
Cool.
Okay, questions on anything I showed you that I can help you with?
I don't think so. If you post this video somewhere, I think if I just rewatch it, I'll be able to